What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here, back with more Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. This is our Rise of the Forsaken campaign, our home game. Of course, this is the 4th edition of the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay by Chaosium. No, it is not. It's not Chaosium. I'm going to have to edit that out because it's a different person. Doesn't matter. That's getting edited out. So, I am, of course, joined by the Unfortunate Fellowship, our faithful trio as of late. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys. Brief description of your characters for all those new viewers out there.
Hello, everyone. I am Jumbo Smooth. I'll be playing the role of Marius Wolf this evening. I am currently a pugilist, former miner. I'm a family man. My best friend Seamus and Bragadine, we go on adventures together through time and space.
Time and space.
That's my story.
Through space?
Yes,
Hell,
technically.
Time and space, yeah.
How about Mr. Doobie?
What's up, guys and gals? I play Seamus McGreedy, the former, a road warden, turned bounty hunter, turned pseudo outlaw.
Maybe.
He is now 23 years old.
He is,
in terms
indeed.
of game time.
Yes.
Probably older than that, though. 6'1", jet black hair, pale gray eyes, native to Sealburg. I imagine part of my face and hair is burned and jacked up from numerous times being caught on fire. And I typically wear a helmet that looks like a skull.
Indeed. Skull mask. Helmet. Pretty awesome. And then that brings us to Mr. Galactic. You did not just do that.
Hi guys, it's Pierce Galactic. There we go. We're fumbling a little bit. But it's Pierce Galactic here. I play Bragadine Bonneau, an immense man of 5'3", quite attractive with his light brown hair and pale gray eyes. He himself, I believe he is wearing the blue today, but he dresses as a noble because he is a little bit of a noble. Noble family, at least. He thinks of himself more of as an artist, a writer. Has been through more adventures than a man of his young age should have been already. Recently lost a very, very dear friend. His prized manuscript that apparently got burned by, we don't know. Bragadine does not know. We know as players it was Marius, but yeah.
Indeed.
And about to go home, I hope.
Maybe. So, last we left off, let's get into this, boys, because I am excited to get into this. So, we've been having some technical difficulties, so we're just going to skip right to where we left off. If I believe I am correct, we have not only retrieved Bragadine, but everyone has made their way to the Silver Thaggy, where the three of you have finally met up after your various adventures together. And though Mr. Bonneau had lost all of the money for the party to travel to Bretonia, and
No, actually, Marius lost it. I gave the money to Marius to hold on to.
Of course.
I expected him to get good deals and so on. Look, do not put this on me. This is surely not my fault. All I did was rest all day.
of course, yeah, lots of resting in the bosom of very enjoyable women, as it was at the Silk Canary. But regardless,
Oh, yes.
you have all were in need of transportation to Bretonia, which is a very long journey overland. And so a preposition was made by Amberbelly as he knew of some faithful Dawi that needed some extra muscle, as it was, for some reason. And they were willing to take the three of you under the mountain through the underway tunnels and into Bretonia and deliver you into the Bretonian lands, and then cutting significant time off of your trek, I might add, in doing so. In payment, they essentially decided to not pay you for guarding them, and they will just give you transportation with them. So it's a win-win, as it was. And that's pretty much where we left off. Do you guys remember his name?
Cleric?
Cleric Bronzehammer was his name. And the three of you, have made an accord. Some hands were shook. Some oaths were made. And that is that. So, we don't necessarily need to do any role play here unless you guys really want to. But, essentially, Cleric is going to impart onto you. You guys have already basically signed off saying you're going to do this. He wants you to meet him outside of town this afternoon. And by outside of town, he means at the front gate. So you are free. You've got a little bit of leeway time in the center here. If you guys want to get anything done, now's the time to do so. Otherwise, your journey awaits.
DM question.
Yes.
Does our money go away before we go on our adventure?
It doesn't magically go away. It's still in your pocket. You are going to Bretonia.
Well, okay. I just didn't. I know that sometimes our money just,
It's
spent.
Your money is considered spent at the end of the adventure. If you have not spent it by the time the adventure is over, then it will cease to exist, unless you choose to take one of your downtime activities and either hide it or invest it, and then you get to keep it. But none of you want to do that ever, so it's been just going away.
I think Bragadine might want to go and make sure he is properly outfitted for a trip this time.
Okay.
As opposed to where he had nothing and had to steal from Seamus to eat.
Indeed.
So, Darius, do you have, now that you have given all my gold away, do you have any left for me?
I'd already given yours back. And
You did.
It was 2 gold, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
So sorry.
That's it. 2 gold.
Seamus would like to go to the sisters
Yep.
for his festering wound, and then talk to I have to talk to him, but go to Herbert to buy some bullets. That's all Seamus wants to do.
Okay. All right. All right. Is anyone else taking a trip to the sisters?
Of course.
Of course, Bragadin.
If I'm leaving
Are we,
town, I must say goodbye.
We'll take a trip to the sisters. So the two of you go to the sisters. I'm assuming. Are you coming as well, Marius? Or are you doing something else in the meantime?
I mean, if we're role playing, then yes. If we're not,
I don't think we're gonna do too much role play. just trying to get an idea of what all we're doing.
Probably not.
Okay. All right. So the two of you go to the sisters.
There's
Yeah, attempting the tender love and care of the sisters of Shalia there. And let's roll for this. Let's see here. Because Seamus, you are not in a good spot. I rolled really well, though. So, Seamus, you can shave a day off of your festering wound. Essentially, you're given a kind of balm to rub into it from the sisters. But other than that, there's not much else that they can help you with currently. So you can subtract 1 day, which I believe only gives you 1 more day, right? Or is it 2?
Yeah, I rolled low on that, so I think I have 2 days left.
Okay, yeah. So 2 days. So basically 2 long rests, essentially, and then you'll be good as new. So, all right. There's that for Jesus, for Bragadine. How low are you, Bragadine?
Oh, A little peek at that. I've got some scrapes that need some bandaging. I could use a few wounds repaired or healed.
How many is what I'm asking?
Four.
Oh yeah, you easily recover that. Apparently, there's a younger sister, maybe a new convert, perhaps that you begin talking to, and though she may have not yet taken her vows, she is due to take them soon. But she seems very eager to perform upon you, and you recover. You would have recovered more than 4 wounds, but if you only needed 4, you get 4. So you would have recovered like 12 wounds or something from this roll that I just made. So you're fine. So that takes place.
Can she massage my cramped thighs?
She will indeed. She gives you a nice oil kind of massage around the region.
Oh my!
It's completely.
Oh, don't mind that.
Yes, it's very much. This. It's not sexual. It's it's we're gonna leave this scene at this point. We're done. I'm not doing this again now, Bragantine. Damn it.
Good.
You're trying to get me censored.
That's what he does, bro. That's what he does.
I know.
Very
So
we don't want to do that. Okay.
So Seamus, are you doing anything else besides going to get bullets?
No, unless you're gonna make us buy like food and stuff.
You guys will all need to buy stuff for the road. You will, yes, at some point.
I got two gold I want to spend on getting equipped.
Okay, all right, and just generic equipment, nothing in particular.
Yeah, just stuff basically. Like if we're gonna role play it out, Seamus, Marius, I don't want the trip to be like last time. Would you help me get outfitted? I have some money still left here, whatever, a pack and food, whatever I need, just to make this journey easier for me.
Don't worry, Bragantine. We'll take care of you. And I slap him on the back.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
And
perfect.
We are. I'm going to go ahead and Seamus. How many bullets are you trying to buy from Mr. Sachs? Bullets and shot.
10 maybe.
Just 10. Okay. We doing?
I have 12. So
yeah. Are you just doing regular rounds, or what are you doing here?
Well, yeah, I like my regular rounds. I don't want no
Get
shotgun
warp stone.
blast.
Get some warp stone.
It's madness. I'm upset.
Okay. All right.
Unless he's got any cool items he's made for me.
Viewer decisions. Should Seamus get warp stone?
It's only been a couple days, so no, he has nothing cool for you yet. Upon your return, maybe not. He does want to keep your gun. He repeatedly asks for it, but you, of course, push him away. He will sell you. It looks like he'll sell you black powder and shot. You know what? Go ahead.
How much is it going to cost?
Yeah, that's what we're going to determine here.
That will determine how much I want to buy.
Go ahead and roll. Do you have a hackle? You have hackle yet?
I don't have haggle yet, but
oh my!
I assume I'm at a minus 20.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead and give me a charm roll then. Which you're
even better.
No, your charm. That's going to be in the negatives, I think, because you have a minus 30, and then you have a minus 20 on top of that. So minus 50 on a charm roll. I don't think it's possible.
Oh no, I'm at a 46 on that.
Yeah,
so
that's
we're
negative.
almost there.
So that's not happening. So how about this? I'm going to give you a cost. It may or may not be fair. It's just the cost you get. It's the cost.
What if I go in there and shoot it up?
Jesus. So essentially, he will sell you for 3 powder and shot. You're looking at a silver piece per 3 powder and shot. So you're looking at a few copper per bullet, essentially, or brass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have 6 silver, so I'll just buy 6 silver's worth.
Oh, wait, sir. Perhaps you can make a better deal. 3 per silver. What if you were to give him... God damn it, I fucked up the math in my head. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I was going to try and haggle you a better price. Damn it.
Making it work.
You know what? As Bragdon stumbles over those rolls, those words, go ahead and give me...
I already have 6 silver out.
Go ahead and give me...
haggle roll.
I'll give you a haggle roll at -30 because you fucked it up. But
Minus 30? All right.
you might, but you still might pull this off. So we'll see.
All right. Oh, we got a 32. And my goal would have been, so it was 32 out of 44. So one level of success.
Okay, a level of success. I will take that into account. All right, so as Brigadine stumbles over his words, and Mr. Sachs is not exactly, he's not a merchant. He's not like wheeling and dealing here. He's just kind of, he's a crazy inventor guy. So he kind of, how about this then? And he'll sell you 3 bullets for 2 silver.
All right.
Or excuse me, more than that. He'll sell you 6 bullets for the silver.
Oh my, 6.
How
six
was
per 6 for a silver?
Now hold on. How much did I say before? I'm all fucked up.
You said 1 silver for 3 shotguns.
1 for 3. So yeah, it's gonna be. So it's gonna be.
Dragon is gonna try and get it.
Yeah. So 6 bullets for 1 silver. This time.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So do you still want to spend 3 silver?
I mean, I have 6 silver and a gold, so I'll probably just spend like all my silver.
Okay, so six
bullets.
silver on powder and shot. You're looking at, and this is good quality powder. This isn't Mr. Gold powder that may or may not come into effect someday. I don't know. We'll see. So you're looking at with 6 silver, you're looking at 18 powder and shot.
I thought we renegotiated the price. Shouldn't that be 36 powder and shot?
Yeah, it should be 36.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, my apologies. So yes, 36 powder and shot. Now I will say, Seamus, that's a lot of black powder on your person. Like a lot. It's going to be a large bag. So just keep that in mind.
Oh, Seamus, shall I carry some of that for you?
I may try to use some of
Yeager.
it as a throwing device.
Okay. Well, I'm just letting you know.
Are you now?
It's not only is it a large bundle, not as far as carrying wise, you're not gonna have any problem carrying it. It's kind of bulky, and it may or may not, from a mechanical perspective, light on fire and blow up on your hip easier. Just throwing it out there.
I mean,
just throwing it out there.
Hey, I live fast, shoot from the hip. So
Okay, all right. I'm just
burn through those bullets.
burn through those bullets.
No.
Yeah, they burn through them faster, and
Yeah.
then it's not as bad. So yes, so
No,
yeah,
it's not as dangerous.
yeah, exactly. So there we go. All right, so you secured that successfully. Now, as far as supplies go, you can always go to Gold's. He's got the best. Or you can try to track down things in the kind of market that's in the center of the town square, as it was. They have odds and ends. You can definitely get dried food stuff there if you'd like. Of course, you could also secure stuff at Thordum's. He actually has essentially to-go kegs and things similar to that. But food would be iffy. So what all do you guys want? Essentially, is what I'm getting at.
Seamus wants ale or Bugman's.
Okay. You want Bugman's ale?
Oh yeah, bro. Bugman's Ale.
You go to Thordum's and you speak with him about Bugman's, and he basically tells you that there is no Bugman's, that he drank it all. It's gone. So you can have regular ale if you'd like.
All right, that'll do.
You can have a keg of ale, and he'll only charge you 3 silver pieces for a mini keg.
Like Seamus's own personal keg.
It's a mini keg, so it's your own little personal keg, and it's you could carry it on you. It's not like a gargantuan keg, but I mean it's still pretty hefty. I mean, you're a big guy.
I am.
In addition to the walking
I'll take
armory
that
you have. So yeah, go ahead. You can write off a little mini keg that you can choose to share if you like.
And
I
have a gold piece left, so I don't know what the breakdown is on that, but
okay. Yeah, you break it down from the gold. Did we make it? I think we simplified it. I think we simplified it to 10 and 10 just to make it easier. So 1 gold is going to be 10 silver.
Cool.
Just to make it nice and easy, because the damn currency system was too much. So, yeah, that's what we're going with.
Trappings, mini keg.
So, yeah, there you go. And I will say that's going to be good for at least if you drink liberally and not go crazy. You can probably get about a week or so, maybe a little over a week for just you. Now, if you share it, that could go down from there. So there's that.
Yeah, well, I'm going on a long journey with bracketing, so I'll probably be drinking a lot of it.
Indeed you will. So yeah, there you go. And as far as securing food stuff, what kind of food would we like? Will we just like dried goods, or are we going to get some fancy stuff to get mixed in?
No, Bragadin, of course, would only go for the fancy stuff.
Oh, yes, he would.
Going to reach out to ask
None of us know how to cook.
Mm-hmm. No one knows how to cook.
perhaps some cheeses.
Stuff.
Okay.
Perhaps some
Non-perishable, if
Yes,
preferable,
of
or long-lasting at least.
Yes.
What about the roast chicken, Marius? Do you think we could bring a roast chicken?
Roast chicken.
Yeah, Marius, here's my... You tell me what to get here. I'm so confused. Are we going to the market? So colorful, though. It might be nice.
I would prefer the market than Gold's, but I mean, who knows? Maybe we can
I
go
don't want to go
Gold's
back
and
to that place.
Nah, it's true. It's quite terrible. I'd suggest we probably go to the market in search of our camping supplies and supplies for
That is
our journey. Most likely.
fair. Completely fair. Don't blame me on that one. So, as far as gathering up everything that you'll need to outfit Bragadin, easily done. Not going to be any rolls or anything necessary for that. It is going to set you back a little bit of coin. And how long? How much food are you guys going to be bringing with you?
Do we have any kind of estimation on the journey time?
He not really, not exactly. He basically
really?
just told you he'd be
Everything
taking
that
you.
2 gold
Yeah.
will buy.
Okay, all right. So you're going to buy
Yeah,
a
that's-
shitload of food. Then.
Spend all my money.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
No, I mean-
I assume I need like a pack. Are we gonna bring a tent? I mean, do we need to have like all the traffic?
Oh, you're gonna have so basically you're gonna have if you're spending 2 gold on supplies, you'll have more than enough to get by for an extended period of time. You will get a full pack Bragadin with lots of dried foods and there's a roast chicken in there. It's amazing how you snuck that in. You can have your choice.
One at the top of my list. Roast
Yeah,
chicken.
you can have your choice of wine to go with it. Now they don't have fine Bretonian wine here, but you can secure at least a bottle of wine.
Of course.
Were you looking for something specific?
Do I need I need like a tinderbox too. I mean, all that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to think all the stuff that
we'll say
he had last time.
we'll say you'll have just about anything that you'll need, and the rest of the party, all of your shit is refilled. Everybody's got a tent. Everybody's got a bedroll. All the good stuff. If you're spending the 2 gold, I'll just say that you guys are good to go. So, and you'll have food and water to get you at least a couple weeks, and that's not even if you're rationing. so you'll be fine. Now you are carrying a lot of shit on you though, so just keep that in mind as well. Seamus, are you going to take your horse?
Yes.
Okay, then. There we go.
His horse was lost.
Oh, that's
was
right.
That was.
No.
I put it back into town.
No, it was back. He had it at the stable.
Yeah.
What?
It's at the stable.
No, it wasn't. No, I was confused. You're right. It was out in the woods previously, and you never went back for it.
He never went back for it.
You never went back for it.
He lost his woman. He lost.
You lost your woman, and you lost your horse.
Seamus.
No.
You said it was at the stable.
No, you
At
rode.
the stable, and you jerk players had to intervene. You guys are jerks.
I know. I'm sorry, but unfortunately,
Actually,
I got
taken by Gaston.
It's
glue people.
Jesus, no. So what happened was, if I'm remembering it correctly now, I was a little confused myself for a second. You rode your horse out to Three Fingers and left it at the entrance to the cave that you went into, the alcove. And the road wardens may have secured your horse, and it is more than likely in their keeping. So if you would like to attempt to retrieve your horse, you can go visit the road wardens on your way out of town. But as of right now, you don't have your horse, which means you also don't have your crossbow.
I'm just going to kill a Bretonian knight and take his horse.
Okay, well,
I like the plan.
I'll assume...
no. Gerard is the knight. Perhaps you could kill him.
I will assume that you have, at this point, you've made your way to the entrance of the of Sealberg and are looking for a cleric, unless there's anything else you would like to do.
One last thing. Marius would like to just peruse the shops. If there's any leather jacks available.
Leather jacks. As you're looking through the kind of just generic wear, there's kind of knickknacks, odds and ends, in addition to just food and kind of general peasantry stuff. If you're looking around the market, you're not going to. Well, you know what? Let's roll and see if maybe you find the odd jack here or there. So go ahead and give me a. I know. Give me a perception test. Give me a perception test.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's a horse just standing around too.
Oh no, there's no horse standing around.
It's a 46 out of 57.
Okay. All right. In that case, you do actually, as you guys are about to leave the kind of market area, you do spot out of the corner of your eye a gentleman who is just, it looks like he's selling just random shit. It looks like there's like candelabras and plates, and there's like a chair that he has like some kind of tag on. Looks like he's going to be selling it to somebody. There's a stack of books. There's just random things. Looks like he may have pilfered someone's house at some point. And you go over to it.
Stuff?
You go over to it, Marius.
Wait a second. That looks familiar.
No. Braggading's not here. Only Marius is here. And Marius, you're looking it over, and you're like, damn, some of them books look familiar. And you're kind of looking around, and then you see just some other random stuff, and then you see at the bottom you do see a brand new leather jack, has never been worn. It looks like it's still stiff, even like no one ever put it on before.
How much do you want for the piece of armor there?
Oh, this piece right here? Oh, this is a mighty fine piece, good sir. How about I'll let this one slide for a gold piece.
A whole gold, you say?
Yep. Sounds fair. Sounds fair. He's kind of nodding his head.
How
He's kind of a dopey looking guy. Really, like, eyes are barely open. Very dirty attire on. And looks like his stand has just been cobbled together real quick. May have not been here the day before.
You have some fine wares here, sir. Fine wares indeed. Where did you acquire all these things?
From a fine supplier. Fine, very, very fine gentleman.
Yes.
Yes.
I noticed any kind of like markings on this stuff, like
As far as what are you looking for?
like is anything like written on it, like property of Pinot?
Oh no. There's nothing on the outward that shows that, but you do notice that most of the books are written in Bretonnian, so it's a little odd. It's a little odd.
Oh, yeah.
Guy's a scoundrel.
You read Bretonnian.
Oh, of course. Who doesn't?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Say, since you have so much other fine product, I'll help get rid of some of it for you. How about 7 silver for the jack?
I'll take it. he hands it to you. Right. Takes the 7 silver. Yes. Yes. And he just nods his head. And he.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. After seeing the look, and at this point, like Bragadine, you kind of turn around, you're looking, you're like, oh, that's a fine. And then you look at it a little bit closer, Bragadine. You're like, damn, that looks very familiar. And at this point, the man looks over and sees the 3 of you, and he's like, oh, shit. And he starts gathering all the stuff up into like a big bundle, and he's going to take off into the market.
Who is that man, Marius? And why
sure.
did he have...
Quite quick.
Yeah, and he's at this point, he's like
appears to be
booking
leading
it.
right now?
Yeah, there's like shit falling behind him. He's making his way through the market.
I don't know. There was
Sigmar
something odd
protect you,
about his
friends.
stuff. Oh, I almost forgot. Is there a jeweler anywhere on here? I got this pendant, and I wanted to see if I could get it appraised.
Holy shit! You're going to sell the item I gave you from Mother Inga?
Oh no! I don't know how. Okay, if we were playing a different role-playing game, I would say let's go to a wizard and have him cast a certain spell. But this is Warhammer.
Yes, exactly.
And wizards are not. Yeah.
So let me put it like this, Bragadine.
No, as a player, I ain't
Yes.
selling that pendant.
Yeah. So essentially, you're asking about a jeweler, and there is not exactly. There is someone, but it's someone you don't want to go see.
Oh, I don't want to see that person again.
Mr. Gold does a lot of fine jewel work, or so he claims. So if you choose,
I have terrible
you may.
visions at his restaurant.
Got it. So he has many different places, and one of them is a jewelry store. So I didn't think you'd want to go there.
Perhaps when I get home, the house jeweler can figure out what is about this pendant. There's something, I don't know, it's very attractive.
Yes, and as you're holding it, you do feel at ease, Bragadine, more than anything, as you hold it in your hands.
Just thinking about going home. I feel so relaxed.
Indeed. And you begin moving your way out of town on the cobbles. You pass by a few peasants, and of course the more ramshackle part of town that you guys recently tore through the other night and beat a few men to death. And you make your way out of the gates of Sealburg and out into the wilderness. And not too far outside of the gates, you see 3 dwarves. You recognize them immediately. They have large packs on, and you recognize the armor and kind of the attire of Clarek and the 2 dwarves that were with him in the thaggy. And they look expected as they see the 3 of you approach.
What were the other 2 dwarf names?
They did not give them. They were not given.
All right, then.
Oh, friends, are you... Here we are. I'm so glad you waited for us. Thank you.
Well, can't exactly leave without the muscle. And he points at Seamus and Marius.
Oh, and you mean me, of course, too. So, have you seen my blade here? I draw my sword and I do a little kind of flourish, not really knowing how to use it.
Oh, yeah. It's horrible. You flourish your sword and you just see the look in his eye of disappointment. And...
I see you approve. And I put my sword back.
And he just mutters something under his breath about silly manlings. And... come! Don't want to waste any more of the day. We got a lot of ground to cover. And he starts walking into the woods, not on the path.
Lead the way, Master Dwarf.
All right. Seamus, do you want to attempt to convince these guys to swing by the road wardens?
No.
Okay. You've just given up on
kill
it.
a knight, take his horse.
Got it. All right. That's. I will keep that in mind. A knight immediately charges you out of the woods. No.
I won't shoot him.
Definitely not. So you begin walking into the woods, the 3 of you. And you're not exactly in the deep mountains yet. Marius, you'd be very comfortable in this region. Even Seamus would be pretty comfortable. This is a little rough terrain for Mr. Bonneau. You've seen your share of deep woods at this point, and it's getting thick after a few hours of trudging through the forest. Eventually, after a few miles have passed by, you make it to the more mountainous areas, the high mountains as it was. And I need the 3 of you to give me perception tests.
Oh, yeah, first roll.
Oh, boy.
All right. Take off my hat. Put my ear out with a good listen.
19 out of 51.
All right. How about...
Marius rolled poorly. 75 out of 57.
Okay. And Bragadine?
Oh, Bragadine rolled a 1.
Okay. That is...
damn,
all right. Critical. Very, very good. So, essentially, Marius, you are actually the closest to Cleric, and he is very interested in the pendant that you have, that you've now shown, the kind of pendant of dwarven friendship, as you are
dwarf friends.
Yeah, you are dwarf friend. You and Seamus both are dwarf friends, and he seems very taken with the 2 manlings that have managed to earn Thordoom's respect, and he asks you about your pick, and you kind of, I'm assuming you talk to him about it. And same thing with Seamus's Thunderer that he has, and you at length he speaks to the 2 of you about your adventures in Carrick, Zorn, and everything that's kind of happened. And I'm assuming you guys are pretty honest, unless you want to be otherwise, Seamus?
No, I'd be
okay, yeah.
About it.
And you guys,
honest.
Yeah, you guys talk about this, and all the while, like, he has not once addressed Bragadine, not a single time since you guys have left. The other 2 dwarves are very stoic, very silent, and they're walking by them, and you, as glancing over them, especially you, Seamus, as you're a little bit closer, you can tell that there's a lot of wear and tear on these guys' equipment. Their armor and their weapons look like they've seen battle. Not exactly in town, but they definitely have done their fair share of work. Cleric seems to be in a similar state as well, even though his beard is very well kept, and though it is almost, well past his midline and almost to his knees, he still looks like he's seen his fair share of fighting. And you would notice, well, actually, with that many success level, Shamus, you wouldn't notice. Only Bragadine, apparently hyper-focused, probably due to the fact that he's trying to eavesdrop this entire time, and he's doing successfully. And just making mental notes, because every time he speaks up, Cleric just pretends he doesn't exist. And because of this, Bragadine, as you guys are getting closer and closer to the mountains, as the rest of your party is slightly distracted, you see movement, Bragadine, further ahead and to the left. You see a tree just barely sway. I mean, barely move. Then you glance over to the right and you see another similar small piece of shrubbery that just moves in an awkward timing. Unnatural. There's definitely somebody or something ahead.
Master Dwarf, are we expecting guests? I see both sides of the... Well, it's barely a trail, but up there there's no wind yet. That tree moved. And over there to the right, again, no wind, but... Oh, that shrubbery, it definitely moved. I do not believe we are alone.
And Cleric looks back at you. What are you? You daft manling? There's nothing up here but us. And as he turns around...
Marius, be careful.
Yeah. And Jesus. As he turns back around to start stomping ahead, a figure moves out of the bush on the right. And it's a hooded figure. As soon as it moves out of the bush, and then he startled for a second, and the three of you, including the rest of your party here, see a short, squat figure with a cloak pulled deep over their face, completely obscuring their features. And they have a large, massive, heavy crossbow slung across their back, and of course a cloak about their shoulders. And it looks like they're wearing much lighter armor than the dwarves that you're with. And the three of you actually would recognize this kind of getup, as it looks very similar to the Dawi you saw in Carrickthorne, though the style is different. But you get the idea that you are looking at some kind of ranger of some kind.
But a dwarf?
But definitely a dwarf.
Okay. Do they appear hostile?
As soon as Cleric sees them, he's like, oh, damn it! What are you thinking, Thorin? You can't just step out. I could have killed you. You didn't even see me coming. It's this way. And as he motions back, he looks at Bragadine and just gives you a nod, Bragadine. Like you're sharing something, the two of you. As he was not expecting a manling to catch sight of him before. And you probably shouldn't have, but with that critical success, you definitely did. Gives you a little nod, and then he begins leading the way through a series of... They could be called almost optical illusions. They're pieces of the mountain that look flat when you're just walking, but if you get at a certain angle, you realize there's a gap. And the three of you would realize that if you weren't following this ranger, there's no way you would be able to find your way into whatever place they're leading you. It would be a almost impossibility unless by fate's chance you stumbled upon whatever this entrance is. And after probably 20-30 minutes, you do find yourself at an entrance to something. You would notice at this point that there are two more of these rangers as they are kind of being called right now, for now, tentatively, with this Thorol. And you have the 3 Dawi with you. And you all meet up at the entrance to this, it looks like some kind of tunnel.
Is this close to this is close to Sealberg, right? Like, how long have you been walking?
You've been walking for a few hours, so it's not
okay.
It's not ridiculously, it's not like really far away, but it's within a few hours of Sealberg, so that's relatively close.
Yeah, Master Dwarf, I never would have guessed there's another entrance. The underway.
It would be entrance. It would be strange if a manling like yourself could find it. Though, dwarf friend, I suspect you might have more of a chance than most. But, yes, this is a hidden entrance of the Dawi that would lead us into the Karazhan core, or the remnants of it.
Is it part of a mountain? Is it part of the mountain?
It is. This is a big piece of the mountain, and the entrance. It actually looks like there is a door across that has been opened currently, but the door itself looks like it's made out of the same stone as the mountain, and it's been kept in pieces. Like, it almost looks like if this thing was shut. And you know how well dwarven craftsmanship is. If this entrance was shut, you probably wouldn't be able to discern it from the rest of the mountain. Because it looks like it's naturally... it looks weathered and natural on the outside. But with the door open, you can see that this is a very well-maintained tunnel. It's not big by any means, and in fact, it's going to be a little short, so Seamus might be a little hunched over.
Damn it.
Unfortunately. But it is wide enough that a decent-sized person and creature could probably make their way through here.
Oh, it's quite cozy and roomy in here.
Right, well, I assume this is the way we're going.
Indeed, Master Seamus, indeed. Come. We still have much ground to cover, and I do not care to be outside in this. And he kind of looks around at the sky. Oh, the lack of the stone just unnerves me. I don't know how Thornton puts up with it.
And I hope you have a light in this place, because I can't see for shite in the dark.
Manly. Don't worry, we have plenty. And he motions to a few of the dwarves ahead, and they have lanterns that they light and kind of put about their person. So there will be plenty of light with the group. There are no standing torches or anything like that in this tunnel, though. So I'm assuming we are following in.
Yeah, while we're walking and talking, I probably would be asking cleric like what his profession is and like what what's the purpose of his journey.
Yeah. Okay. And so basically, well, Master Wolf, and he kind of motions to the rest of the dwarves with him. We are, you can call us traders from Carrick Norn. We own these mountains. We've been leasing the lands to the manlings for quite some time. Or at least they think that it might be their own, but we all know who owns these lands, and it is the fair Dawi of Carrick Norn. And we have been trading with Sealberg for quite some time. There's a good mine there. We have yet to garner enough support to come and reclaim it of our own, but the manlings will do just fine.
Well, what do you know? You're in company of a person who owns the mine, Mr.
owns the mine? You jest.
Are you talking about my family's mine up there? Oh, yes. Oh, Master Dwarf, of course.
He looks flabbergasted as he looks at Bonneau, and with this statement, I am not accustomed to your manling humor.
I am sorry. I am not accustomed to your dwarfish humor. No, Marius Seamus, I must be a little honest. My family is part of a consortium that owns the mine. But yes, it is part of my family's estate.
And he looks at the three of you, and then he leans over to Seamus. So, is he daft?
Just a little bit.
I
assume I can hear all this with my acute hearing.
You can hear, yes. You can hear it all with your very heightened sense of hearing. If you choose to say something to your own peril.
I'm going to lean over to Marius and whisper, I do not understand the joke, Marius. You have to explain it to me later.
Yes.
And I will just kind of do like a...
You know, Cleric, what they say about people in Bretonia is they usually call them horse fuckers.
Seamus, what was that you said?
And he gives you a big slap on the back, Seamus. I knew I liked you, manling. I knew I did.
Just let me know, Cleric, whatever you want. I got this little keg of ale, and we can tip a few back.
Ale! Oh, and he begins smelling. Ooh, Darby ale. Oh, we may have us a nip, as it was when we make camp. He's sort of like salivating. You can see him like licking his lips. Oh, not now. Let's continue. We've got some time till we can make camp. I would like to at least get through the small tunnel here until we get into the main entrance, as it was, into the lost underway. And anyways, he basically would inform you, Marius, that he is a trader of sorts and almost an emissary from Carrick Norn.
Okay.
And Thordoom is well known. You get to learn a little bit more about Thordoom, that he is well connected with the dwarves in these mountains, the Grey Dwarves, as they are known. And he is a bit of an oddball to them because he lives with the men in the in the city, and he lives in a damn house. He doesn't live in the mountain like a good dwarf, so he is thought to be maybe a little crazy, and they may not be too far off on that, but who knows? Regardless,
he's kind of like, I guess Daggy's kind of like an embassy, I guess, kind of.
Yeah. It's a place that they feel comfortable staying, mostly because a dwarf runs it, essentially. So yes, but whenever they have business with Sealberg, they come there and they trade. You would notice that the two dwarves with shit, how did I just lose his name?
Cleric.
My God,
Thor?
I can't believe I'm slipping here. The two dwarves with Cleric, the ones from in town, actually do have rather large, robust pouches that they have over their shoulders that they've been carrying this whole time with a drawstring. With Bragandine's heightened senses of hearing, you would hear the clank, clank, clank of coin, Bragandine, inside these pouches. And they are big, very big pouches.
Yes.
So, yes. After some time, however, you do eventually, through this small tunnel, make it to what appears to be a opening is coming ahead. And though you've been underground for a few hours at this point. You're not quite sure how much time has passed. Besides Marius. Marius would be pretty self-conscious of this. And it's getting later in the evening at this point. You make it to what looks like a cavern when you first exit this tunnel. It just looks like this massive, sprawling cavern. But then you begin to look left and right, and all of you do the same. And you notice that this is actually a gigantic road under the mountain. It's huge. There is actually light flittering at different places above in the very high off distant ceiling. You're not sure where the light is coming from or how it's getting down here, but it is. And it illuminates just a very dim amount of light, enough for you to kind of pick out things in the tunnels and for you to recognize the walls, in fact. And there's something about the architecture that is very reminiscent of all of the time you spent in the hold of Carricksorn. This is definitely Dawi craftsmanship, and very old craftsmanship at that. And somewhere you just see signs of the great wealth and glory that once was, but it is now in disrepair. There are remnants of statues, both small and very large, the columns that have fallen, and places in the ceiling that have crumbled due to lack of something, who knows. And of course there are large, almost mosaics on pieces of the wall, and on the very ground you begin to walk over that depict the achievements of the Dawi and the history of the Karazankor. And if you have any questions about these things, you could always ask them, and the cleric is in a very talkative mood and has been spending most of his time informing you guys on things here and there. Would you like to ask about anything as we're moving?
Asking about... Yeah, Marius would definitely be asking about, like, the statues, like, you know, who's that supposed to be? And,
yeah, exactly.
Know,
and he basically...
What's this mosaic depict?
Yeah, he would... In most of those would be mostly battles and things like that, but some of the statues... the larger statues, most of them aren't intact, but some of them are. A lot of them, it looks like, have been defaced by someone or something, and you're not sure what. He looks very angry every time he sees it. But he would inform you that most of these statues are dedication to their gods, specifically their ancestors. And you know about ancestor gods and that kind of stuff. So, and now you're seeing more concrete depictions of them, and they all have a very similar look, which means that you'd probably be able to pick these out in the future, any of the major ancestor gods. Okay. So, especially with your expertise ask, like, with stone and things like that. So, go ahead though.
Yeah, I'd also ask probably like general questions like, what was such a large road used for?
Oh, yes.
Like, yeah. Why would you need so much space, and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and basically he would explain to you
when was this created.
Oh, and I will say this for Bragadine, this would be like completely mind blowing, because this is not a thing that he's ever assumed existed. So essentially, Cleric would inform you, Marius, and you, Seamus, if you were nearby, that their empire, the Dawi Empire, stretches back thousands of years, well before the time of even your manling god that you have now, and they have always existed in their mind's eye, and that these vast tunnels were at one point in time full of dwarves. This was one of the major trading routes, and one of the ways that the Karazankor, which he keeps calling it, which you can then glean, is referring to the ancient, almost collection of kings that existed previously, that still technically does exist, though just not as united as they once were. as you can see from the state of this tunnel, that their society is indeed crumbled quite a bit, and things are not as glorious as they once were.
This is fascinating, Master Dwarf. It's massive in scale. Did not know such a thing could be so vast and large, very right beneath our feet, right next to us at all times without us knowing.
Indeed, Manling, indeed. It's one of the greatest achievements of the Dawi. He looks a little misty-eyed, walking around, especially in its destruction as it is. And it's at this point the three of you would be
march
kind
an
of
army through this.
Oh, yes, you could easily.
I believe it is bigger than the Great Hall back home in our castle. It is.
Bragadine is speechless.
Speechless. Indeed he is.
Yeah.
So is the player. As Cleric turns around. Cleric kind of looks at Bragadine and he shakes his head and then turns around. Well, we best be making camp. I know you manlings can't go as long as the rest of us. Besides, probably need to get our bearings here. Coral, and he calls him over, and they are going to move you over to the far side of this tunnel, and there are smaller offshoot tunnels that are large. They're about the same size as the horrible tunnels you guys have traveled through on your past adventures. So they're also large, though not as big as this main underway tunnel, though. And it's in this kind of offshoot, just right off the beaten path, that they begin to set up camp, unless there are any objections.
Oh no, I would love to rest. It has been such a long day.
Okay. They begin setting up in this corridor, and rather quickly they establish a pseudo perimeter with their tents and everything. And it looks like several of the two of the rangers have just disappeared. You don't need, none of you see them. They're gone. And Cleric starts a small fire. And gather round, Madeleines, gather round. We've got quite a few days before we make it near the junction that will pass us to this man's kingdom, I suppose, his lands, his holdings. And before then, I feel like we should speak of some of the dangers of travel down here in the deep places.
Some danger?
Hi, Madeline. There's always danger.
But, oh, yes, but we have been through similar tunnels as these. I had the book I was writing about it. It's a lot not to talk about that now. But we saw such terrible creatures, the rat men, and these warriors of fire and iron. Oh yeah, yes. And these men of beasts. It was one that looked like I had the head of a bull. It was very similar tunnels to these. I hope it is not the same kind of dangers.
Well, I'm afraid the dangers will be similar in nature. Of course, the foul Thakaraki, and he spits big wad of phlegm as he says, as the name just drips out of his mouth. The foul rat men are always present. But unfortunately, we haven't seen them for quite some time. I don't know if they've gone into hiding or what they're scheming, but we should always be on edge. There are also things down here that you've probably never seen on the surface. Creatures that live down here. Things that don't need to see with their eyes. And of course, there's the Groby. Filthy greenskins, I believe you call them. There are many hordes of them down here. In fact, we may be coming upon their territory soon.
Seamus and I have fought off some of the little ones, the little green men.
Yeah, Groby. No Urk, I take.
Yeah. I don't believe so. I've heard stories.
Well,
Never
let's
seen
hope
one.
we don't run into them. We'll be trying to... As much as I'd hate, we must circumvent their war parties. I'm afraid with our small numbers we would be overrun quickly. Well, manlings, let's drink! And then in the morning, we set off again. And when he says in the morning, Braggedy and Seamus, you have no idea what time of day it is. All you know is you're tired. So whatever the morning is, Marius probably knows. But these dwarves consider whatever the morning is. So. All right. They actually have their own casks of ale, and they are passing out cups. I'm assuming you guys are drinking?
Ooh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. We're drinking.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bragadine, do you partake?
Seamus, may I have a sip of your ale? Here, may I see your cask there?
It's not
Pour
tapped,
myself a
so
little
we'll just take some of theirs right now.
Perhaps later then. Yes. Thank you, Master Dwarf. I would love to have some of your delicious ale.
It'll put hair on your chest, manling. And he takes a big, frothy swig and dribbles down the side of his mouth. A lot of the other dwarves are kind of gathered around and doing the same. Go ahead and give me consume alcohol tests, everyone.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Now I have carouser too, so.
You do. I keep that in mind.
Marius rolled a 43 out of 51.
Okay. Not bad. How about Seamus?
A 22 out of 67.
Whoa.
Pretty damn good. How about Bragadine?
A 45 out of 52.
Okay. All right. Plus, yeah, with your other stuff that you have, so you're fine. So, the three of you take your ales, and Marius is feeling a little bit more than everyone else, but by no means does anyone lose their faculties in this moment. Though the drink is strong, it's very strong. And it's good. Indeed, it's very, very good. But the beer is had, the ale is flowing, and after a time, the dwarves begin to bed down. You notice that the rangers come back at some point during this downtime and give a bit of a debriefing to Cleric in private. And then it looks like Cleric begins having some of the dwarves take watch. Does anyone want to attempt to take watch, or are we all going to take a rest?
Oh, it's been such a long day. I am going to sleep.
Okay. How about Bragadine or excuse me, Seamus or Marius?
Seamus will probably rest too, just to get one of his wound, his corruption, or whatever it's called, festering wound.
Yes. All right. How about Marius?
I can still take a watch and still get a full rest, right?
Yeah, you can if you want. I'm just asking if you want to take a watch or not. You don't have to. Yeah. They
I'll
have.
take a watch.
You see, they have dwarves posted. So
I'll probably take a watch as well.
Okay. All right. Do you take like a first watch, or are you going to wait later in the pseudo evening that you guys are in?
I'd ask whichever one they need help with.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. One of the rangers, as you approach, kind of doesn't really say anything to you, but sees you walking up after a few hours that the rest of the people have been asleep, and kind of just gives you a nod, and then he walks out into the darkness.
I guess I keep an eye on him as long as I can, you know.
Yep, as long as you can, and you can't see him for too long, because at some point, even with your kind of heightened vision, your kind of dark vision that you have, you lose sight of him at some point. But he just walks out, and you can go ahead and give me a perception test.
All right. 13 out of 57.
Okay. With that, you can hear the dribbling of water. There's little bloop, bloop, of just moisture condensation that's dripping somewhere. You notice that these tunnels echo very well, due to the nature that the way that they were built, and you can hear noises you don't know how far away they are. Even you spending so much time down in the mine, you're not used to mining work on this scale, and it's slightly unnerving that how far noise carries. But you do also hear off in the distance, every once in a while, you just hear faint ba-boom, 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 like drums, very faint, who knows where, echoing down these caverns, maybe. You also hear the chittering of something crawling somewhere, who knows. But then you hear something familiar. You hear a squeak and a low grumble in a very rat-like voice. It sounds like it's nearby.
Grabbing my pick and trying to scan to see if I can narrow down where it's coming from.
You grab your pick and you glance out and you see a set of red, beady eyes about 70 feet from you into the darkness. Not illuminated, you just see the eyes.
Do they look like they are looking at me?
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna grab one of my throwing axes.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of prepping to see if it starts moving forward or not. I'm just gonna be staring at it, you know.
And it's just looking at you.
I'm not gonna avert my gaze, but I might move up 10 feet if I can.
Yeah, you start kind of walking forward. As you do, the eyes begin to draw further back, keeping the same distance with you into the darkness.
I'll stop then. I like, clack.
You whispering?
I kind of like a loud whisper, you know.
Yeah, are you still looking? You're still kind of looking at the eyes, though.
I'm still staring at the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see what I got here. Oh yeah. You hear a loud as Cleric passes wind in his tent, and you hear lots of snoring going on in the camp. You have not woken anyone as of yet.
All right. How far am I away from the camp? I don't know if I'm.
You've only taken a handful of steps away from camp. You're about 10 feet away from the main edge of the camp.
Seamus.
Yes. Fuck you want?
There's rats out there.
There's rats everywhere, Meredith. They told us.
Big ones.
Yeah, Yes, big ones are everywhere, Marius.
Get your fucking guns. Watch out the Bretonian.
You wake him up.
I'll take my axe and like clang it against my pick.
Oh, okay. It's loud. And as you do, you see the eyes kind of you see the eyes kind of squint, and then they're gone. As the rest of the camp begins to stumble awake.
Oh, but the lady, what was that?
Be on guard.
Cleric's tent gets ripped open. Damn it! What the blazes is going on out here? Which one of you Wassacks woke me from my slumber?
It was me, Cleric. There's Ratman out there.
There's always Ratman out there, Marius.
See, Marius, I told you.
Just didn't want them coming up on us and stabbing us in our sleep.
That's what we got you for, boy. They get any closer, put your pick in their head. That'll be good enough. Come on, everyone. Go back to sleep.
That's what the Rangers are for, Marius.
The Rangers are gone. I'm not sure where they are.
They're gone.
Yes, Marius, you always make such a big fuss. Let's go back to sleep. You should be much more like me, so calm.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm overdoing it, you know.
Oh, yes.
Marius is being very sarcastic.
Of course he
is.
I'm putting yes.
I'm putting my pick or my axe back in my
my
belt there.
Yeah, and you kind of you're for the rest of this watch, you're constantly glancing over at that space where you saw the eyes, and you don't see anything. And then your watch finally ends. Are you going to attempt to go to sleep, Marius?
Yeah, I'll go to sleep.
Go ahead and give me a cool test, Marius. Let's see how unsettled you are.
Okay. Is someone relieving me?
At some point, one of the other dwarves will get up and kind of stumble over.
Okay. That's a 18 out of 65.
Okay, so you manage to quiet your mind of all the encroaching dangers and do manage to have a restful sleep. And the Fellowship awakes in the morning, or what Cleric is saying is the morning, a few hours later, as there is no sunlight down here. There is just darkness and tunnel. And, so there's that. He makes motion to break camp and head on their way. If you guys are ready and willing.
I brought the roast chicken. I was going to have it for breakfast. Could you give me just a moment, Master Dwarf?
Eat it on your way, manling. And they're packing up their shit and they're going. Of course, eating it, literally.
Is that the sound of you eating?
That's the sound of him eating.
That's Bragging's eating, bro. He's a
roasted chicken.
Yeah.
All right. For the sake of brevity, you're going to spend several days in this tunnel. The next day goes very uneventfully. Except, I need all of you guys to give me perception tests.
Oh boy.
Oh, that was terrible.
Marius rolled a
98,
43
bro.
out of...
Okay. How about Marius?
43 out of 57.
Okay, and Seamus.
A success.
41 out of 51.
Okay, all right. A degree of success for you. And how many degrees was it for you, Marius? 2?
Just one.
Just one?
It's
okay.
43 out of 57.
Okay, but yeah, both of you had one. Okay. So, pretty much the day goes uneventful, except Marius and Seamus both, just on your peripheral of your vision, just every once in a while, you'll see some red beady eyes staring at you from one of the side tunnels. Whenever you go to say something, they're gone. It happens more than once throughout the day. Never to both of you at the same time. But it's getting hard to shake the feeling that you are being watched, and may have been watched since you left Sealburg. You make camp again.
Yeah.
In another offshoot tunnel, very similar to the one you were in. And it's time for watches. Does anybody wish to take one, or are we sleeping again?
Marius, I had such an easy day, actually. I think I will stay up a little bit and watch. Why don't you go to bed early tonight?
Very well. I'll take the second watch.
Okay. Seamus, are you going to take a watch, or are you going to sleep?
Well, I'm going to sleep if they're taking watches.
Yes. Yeah, especially. Yeah, you apply the balm to your wound, and you feel like it's getting better. As a matter of fact, it's almost gone. You can almost barely feel the twinges of it anymore. So you get the idea that a good night's rest, and you might be fit as a fiddle come morning.
Yes.
So you apply your balm. Yes, Bragadine?
Is Bragadine the only one staying up?
You are the only one staying up, as most of the dwarves are asleep. You do, a very similar circumstance happens to you, Bragadine, as the rangers kind of drift off into the gloom at some point and disappear from view. After your hearty meal and beverage, go ahead and give me a perception test, and then let me know if there's anything else you'd like to do.
I would like to actually. Do you want me to do this before my perception test?
Yeah, go ahead and tell me what you're going to do.
I would like to kind of move a little bit closer to Seamus's gear.
Of course.
Take a good look to see if he's asleep.
Okay.
And see if I might be able to get my hands on his flask, his little barrel there.
Oh yeah, his cask, huh? Okay. Go ahead.
Oh yes, his cask. Yeah.
Yeah. Seamus, give me a perception test, and then Bragadine, you can give me a sleight of hand.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
I got
good.
33 under 43.
Okay.
Shit.
Seamus.
I got a 3.
Oh, I got
51.
33 under 51.
Okay. The problem is Bragadine got a critical success is the problem. Normally that would be, you would have easily seen him. Damn it. Seamus, unfortunately you're resting. You're asleep. Nothing's happened to you the past day or so. So you're sleeping restfully as Bragadine sneaks over, not watching the perimeter, I might add.
Oh no. I
And-
focused on something.
And sneaks his hand into Seamus's pack.
And pulls the plug out of his cask.
Just the plug?
Just the plug.
Pull the plug out and
Mumbling,
and-
actually, to himself in Bretonnian, I will not forget the wine.
okay. You pull the plug out. And
Just enough.
the fine Dawi ale is beginning to spill out.
Oh yes.
You turn around and you take a few steps, and then you hear a scraping noise nearby. And there are three sets of beady red eyes within 30 feet of you.
The Ratman! Oh my
Bragadine.
gosh, wake up, wake up!
And that's where we're going to take our first break.